first American oil company across the United States. Although he was affiliated with it, and we think that that's an asshole thing that he invested in his own oil company. The fact of the matter is, since he invested in American oil, we now pay on average $3.99 a gallon, in opposed to Canada's $10.28 a gallon.
So you're saying the Iraq War was a good thing to secure oil?
Iraq War was a good thing for three reasons. Number one, we went into Afghanistan before we ever went into Iraq. Right now, the number one abused pill across the United States is Vicodin. Before George Bush's first term, it was Valium from the valerian root, which is grown here in the United States. Vicodin's main ingredient is opium.
Right.
You remember that guy Dick Cheney shot in the face while whale hunting?
Right.
That guy was the CFO and proprietor for a company called Watson, the largest producer of these Vicodins in the United States.
Right. I'm still understanding how the Iraq War was a good thing.
Well, I'm getting to this. If you look at in the early 1900s, we went through a depression as well. And if we didn't have World War II, we wouldn't have pulled out of that depression. America would have dissolved as a country. World War II literally saved our ass. It gave us technological advances that allowed us to have manufacturing facilities here in the United States.
It stimulated a system that was failing.
It stimulated a failing system. Now, when we went over to Iraq, we gained more technologies in Iraq per capita than we ever did in
the economy just was doing awesome during the Iraq War, right?
The economy started to fail because Bill Clinton signed a law in 1999.
You seem to be forgetting that over 1 million people died in the Iraq War who committed no crime and did nothing except live where there was a lot of oil.
Okay, but a lot of, well, you seem to be forgetting a little organization called the Taliban.
Oh, who lives in Iraq?
No.
They live in Afghanistan.
No, but they do have training facilities in Iraq.
That's actually not true at all.
Actually, it is true.
Oh, I was in Iraq, man.
Were you really?
Yeah. Where was I in Iraq?
Yes,
I was
where
in
were you
Tikrit
in
and Kirkuk.
Where?
Tikrit and Kirkuk.
Tikrit, doing what?
I was in the Army.
You were in the Army. Which branch of the Army? The Army?
The U.S. Army, yeah.
The U.S. Army. Okay. Were you a sergeant, private, what else?
I was a corporal.
You were a corporal?
Yeah.
What responsibilities did you have in Iraq?
Home raids, patrols, ground surveillance, things like that.
Were you ever shot at?
Yep.
How many times were you shot at?
Do you want me to give you the number?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with the million people that
I'm getting
died?
to a point.
I was there for a year.
You were there for a year?
Yeah.
Did you feel like these indigenous peoples did not like American peoples?
Yeah, I felt like they had very good reason not to like us.
Okay, all right. Did you feel like their country was ran by a religious fascist country?
No, it was a secular, completely secular country. Iraq. Iraq was the most secular country in the Middle East. It was not an Islamist country. Women walk around in shorts and a t-shirt, things like that. It's not a religious country.
Okay, so to be absolutely transparent, define for me secular.
Secular, it's not a Islamist government. The government doesn't have religious laws. It says you have to be in a certain religious sect to hold a government position. People of all different religious faiths are completely open.
So their religious leader, their political leader right now is not also a religious leader?
Right now? Oh, it's a U.S. puppet government, so now he is. Yeah, I mean, they created sectarian strife along religious lines as a way to conquer the country. But prior, there was no sectarian strife, there is no religious conflict, and there is no theocracy in the country. That was created by the U.S. intentionally.
Not necessarily. Iraq is a very progressive country, I agree with that. But at the same time, you have to admit that they are very, very, very influenced by religion. Every year...
No. They're influenced by the United States bombing them.
No.
So, yeah. No, trust me. They lived through 20 years of sanctions and bombings, including the invasion and through the 90s. I mean, before...
Well, then tell me why there's a holy road between Iraq and Iran over Jerusalem.
What do you mean? No, that's
yes,
you're thinking of something different.
There's been
Iraq and Iran over Jerusalem. You mean Israel and Palestine over Jerusalem?
No. I mean Iraq.
Jerusalem is in Palestine.
I know exactly where Jerusalem is.
Right.
The point I'm getting to is this, okay? Iraq harbored terrorists.
They didn't actually.
They did.
No, they didn't. That's actually exposed as a lie. There is no Al Qaeda in Iraq. In fact, Al Qaeda and Saddam were ideological.
Uranium.
They didn't. That was a lie too. Iraq did. Iraq was so gutted from the sanctions through the 90s that they didn't even have penicillin, let alone fucking a nuclear bomb. I mean, if you really think that the WMDs thing holds any water today, I mean, not even George Bush says that there is weapons of mass destruction ever in
I never
Iraq
said there was
anymore.
weapons of mass destruction. I
Or
said there was the
uranium.
capability of building weapons of mass destruction
Which
with
means what?
uranium.
Look, man, Iraq was completely disarmed, and they were completely threatened.
Iraq was not completely disarmed
yeah,
because
they
during the
were.
Gulf War we sold Iraq and Afghanistan
Yeah.
weapons.
They had weapons, but not powerful weapons that was any justification to invade the country. And so 1 million innocent people got killed, and
Here, take a picture of
5,000
that sign.
soldiers died.
Let me ask you this: is a million a real number?
Yeah, it's a real fucking number.
A million is a real number.
Yeah, over 1 million. 1.3 million innocent people are dead.
So if I told you only 2.3 million people live in the United States, then you would say
That's a lie, because 300 million people live in the United States.
you got me on that one. But I am going to tell you this: look, we went to war with Iraq for two reasons. Number one, their political leader was a motherfucking asshole, and it was just a matter of time
You
before
think
he
that's
opened
why
war.
the U.S. Do you think the U.S. government cared about the political leader in Iraq?
Yes, I do, because China was going through their industrial revolution, and Iraq controls the region's oil. And if they can,
Iraq
if they can
controls
spike
Iraq's
the
oil,
price,
that's
if they can
what's the
spike the price for China,
No, go take
they're going to spike the price for the United States too. And we needed a catalyst to pull America off of foreign oil
wanna
and
stay
put
here
it
on
in
this?
Halliburton. George
You
W.
need to
Bush
steal Iraq's oil.
George W. Bush invested in Halliburton, which is, of course,
Which wanted to
his oil
steal
company.
Iraq's oil.
No. Which
Yeah.
is his oil company.
Right.
But
Which
the
could
effect
not
of that
refine
is
Iraq's oil,
the
because it
effect of
belongs
that
to Iraq.
is now we pay $3.98 a gallon,
from
in
stealing
opposed
Iraq's oil.
to Canada spending $10.28.
Because we bombed Iraq and killed 1 million people and stole their shit.
Well, Iraq were a bunch of assholes.
Were they?
And they were
How
harboring
so?
terrorists.
They weren't harboring terrorists.
They were harboring
How are they
terrorists.
assholes?
Because they were harboring
They
terrorists.
weren't. What terrorists are you talking about?
The Taliban or
The
where have you
Taliban
been
lives
the
in
last
Afghanistan. Do you know anything about regional politics? The Taliban lives in
Absolutely not.
Afghanistan,
I don't know anything about
which is
regional
far from
politics.
Iraq. And Al Qaeda was in Afghanistan and not in Iraq. And in fact, all reports said, and it's acknowledged by the Pentagon, that Al Qaeda has no connection with the Saddam government, nor the Taliban. They're completely different countries with completely different issues.
So if you know so much about politics, let me ask you this.
Sure.
Why are you protesting against this?
I'm protesting against what? The system? Because I went to fucking Iraq and my friends died and people died for some bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
The Iraq war was bullshit.
The Iraq war was not bullshit. This guy was a threat to the United States.
How was he a threat to the United
Saddam Hussein was a threat to the United States.
How?
What do you mean how? Is that rhetorical?
Yeah.
Dude, he was trying to get weapons of mass
This guy likes the Iraq War. This guy is an Iraq War veteran and does not like the Iraq War.
I know, yeah.
They're debating over the legitimacy of the Iraq War.
I mean, you really think that there
This
is
guy is
weapons
in
of mass
favor of the
destruction in
Iraq
Iraq?
War. This guy is opposed to
There's
the
absolutely
Iraq
no
War.
threat. I mean,
This guy is an Iraq War veteran and seems to be quite familiar with the geography of Iraq.
gutted. They had nothing.
What's this?
It was completely, from the bombings to the sanctions, they had no infrastructure.
I don't know either of them. It just seems that what I've gotten so far is that he's an Iraq War veteran and opposed to the war is part of the answer.
There was not much going on the first few months.
Listen, the bottom line is this. We did go to Iraq.
Yeah.
If I agree with you 100% and we did it the wrong way, and in fact America is wrong for doing
He's a
it.
counter
Right now
protester.
we have taken a tyrant leader out of the
He's
country.
opposed to the
And
protest.
it's put in a bigger tyrant. Oh, you think Maliki is less of a tyrant than Saddam Hussein? You know what happens if you try to have a protest like this in Iraq right now? That shit just gets mowed down with machine guns. The government in Iraq right now,
You don't think Saddam Hussein
tortures.
would do something like that?
No, listen, no, he would. But the government in Iraq right now is far more repressive and dictatorial than Saddam Hussein's ever was. Freedom of
What they're
speech
trying
is
to do-
gone. People
what
are being
they're trying to
tortured
do is
worse than they
they're
were
trying
under
to
Saddam.
usher in democracy.
Right, sure, totally, man.
capitalism.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
We
They're
do
trying to
have
bring
love.
capitalism to Iraq. You should join the army, man. I really think you should. If you actually believe, because you know what? Most people who are going and dying there and getting their legs blown off right now don't want to fucking be there. So if you agree with it politically, you should fucking go so some poor kid doesn't have to go in your fucking place.
Well, all the
That's what
people
I
who
would
are
say.
going over there and dying and losing their legs and shit like that should slap you in the mouth for saying that
Oh,
what
no,
they're
I
doing is
know
wrong
them.
because
They're
they're
my
doing it for my country.
Right, no,
And they're doing it for their country
They're doing
because
it
they're
for the banks
proud.
and the corporations. And they're not doing it because they're proud. They're doing it because they have no other choice, because they don't have any fucking jobs. The kids
they should go to college in opposed to
right, yeah, because you can just go to college for free, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, totally.
You can get a grant.
The United States is famous. The United States is famous
I'm a poor family.
Right.
I'm a poor family.
I know.
I went to a very nice
No,
university.
the U.S. is just famous for like being able to good quality education for low cost or free. Just the way it is. Like we're known for that. It's pretty sweet.
No, it is not.
I'm telling you, man.
It is
I'm telling
not
you.
easy.
The majority
It's
of
not
people,
easy for the average American to get into college, but it is true.
My whole point
It is easy if
there
you
is
make
just a
good
poll.
grades and you study hard.
Right, sure,
Then you can get grants.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, man. I mean,
All the
CNN
above.
just did a poll that 75% of soldiers in Afghanistan don't want to be there and want the war to end. So if you're actually for it and you believe in it, fucking join, man. Go get your dick blown off. I don't care. But like all the people who are there now, they're doing it because they had no fucking choice. And they're doing it for no other reason, not for your country, which is some bankers and some oil companies can get rich. So if you're for it ideologically, fucking go. Just fucking go, man. Instead of like denouncing people who are trying to stop it from happening.
First and foremost, we're not over there for oil. We're over there for opium control.
Cool. All right. Whatever. I mean, resources.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's fine. So you want to die
Resources.
for that? It's a good reason to kill innocent people.
I mean,
and
it's
have
not a good
soldiers
reason
die.
to kill innocent people, but I mean, if
Okay.
you want to just like spit conspiracy out, spit real conspiracy out. You know what I mean? Before the second Bush was elected, the #1 abused pharmaceutical drug in the United States was Valium.
Yeah, no, I
coming
heard.
from
Yeah, you said
malaria
that stuff
groups.
already too.
But I'm
but-
just saying.
Yeah, so there's economic.
We're over there
So,
for opium.
right. So killing innocent people and sending young Americans to die for someone's economic interest, someone's private profit, is good. Sounds like it's pretty bad. So the war should end.
No,
That's what
but
it's for. So you
you're
agree
an
with me?
American. You're an American,
Right.
right?
Okay.
If you want to fix it, vote.
Right, because you explained. Right, that's how this conversation started, where I said, give me an example of when voting has changed anything, and you had 0 examples. And then I gave examples of where protests have changed things, and there was a lot of them.
Man, I'm just trying to stand up for America.
What does that mean?
Stand up for nationalism.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does it mean to stand up for America?
Well, you guys are standing around bashing, saying we're the 99%, like we can't get shit done. Well, fuck. What do you do for a living?
I do for a living?
What do you do for a living?
You know, there's a thing called wage slavery.
I'm just asking if you have a job.
Tell you.
Do you have a job?
Yeah, I have a job.
Doing what?
I work at Pizza Hut, working for a corporation that I hate.
I mean, you realize that unemployment is actually a real thing, and that.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
But unemployment.
So when you tell people that they should just.
Only
during
10.
Good stuff.
During the Great Depression,
40
it was
million,
20,
there's 40 million people.
Yeah, it's more than 10. It's like
40
13.
million people who are out of work and
I just
underemployed.
saw it maybe like on Thursday or Friday. They're like, oh,
That's right. But like,
But the point about unemployment is that those jobs simply don't exist. So if there's someone who doesn't have a job, you say work hard and get a job, the system actually doesn't create enough jobs to employ everyone. So inevitably there's going to be millions of people who are out of work. Right now, 40 million people. Because the system cannot accommodate that. So protests like this are saying that that's a bullshit system. When you have a system, a richest country in the world, that can provide every single person with a basic income and a way to make a living for their families, and they should starve and live on the street, that's kind of stupid. Doesn't
you
that
can't
sound
find a
absurd?
job in just everyday
No, no,
place.
no.
Make your own fucking opportunity.
Oh yeah, make your own job. That makes a lot of sense.
No, I
Dude,
didn't say make your own
the thing
job.
is,
I said
jobs
make
don't
your own
exist.
opportunity. My mother had me at 16 dues 2
Fine,
days
I'm
after
sure
she
you had
turned
your
16.
came up story. Being a white guy probably helped a lot, but my point is that the jobs
Why
do
does it have
not
to be
exist.
white?
Because if you're a white guy, you have an upper hand in every job interview.
False, dude.
Oh yeah, that's right, man. Totally. No privilege at all whatsoever.
Are you not a white guy?
I'm a white guy, and so I understand when I walk into a job interview or have a conversation with the police or anything, I'm going to have some aspect of privilege.